All right, let's do it. Let's
Hit
kick it
it, boys.
off. Nice.
We are in.
Nice. Nothing like a good guitar riff to set the mood.
Fuck yeah, the Karan Momigati song. We are rolling on the river. Can't
That's
go
a nice
on
song.
forever with suspicious minds. Rolling on the river.
Rolling on the river.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Do you think Elvis ever had Do you think he had insecure moments? I mean, I'm sure he did. He's human, but like what? All right, let's take a look at Elvis objectively. Elvis Presley. Okay. Definitely one of the biggest stars of all time, and definitely
Yeah.
the first rock star ever as we
Sure.
know them today.
Sure.
Now,
Like
there
screaming fans, like fainting girls at concerts,
exactly.
like
Thank you.
huge.
You said it. That's what it is. It's not just the music, and it's not just. It's not any one thing. It's the package. It's this is a charismatic guy who is a great singer who well, throw in that he is a good dancer, but that's, I wouldn't say that's 100% required for a rock star. But
Yeah.
and then you have Axl Rose kind of just doing the one move over and over again, the snake.
Yeah, running up and down the stage back in the day.
Eddie
Maybe not
Vedder
anymore.
climbing the rails of the amphitheater, hanging from the rafters. So there's different ways of dance, and those and that is not a way of dance, but it worked for Eddie Vedder. So anyways, what the physicality maybe is but Elvis could dance. He was really, really fucking great looking guy. Fucking 6 foot tall, face shaped like a Greek god kind of thing.
Yeah, nice hair.
Yeah, dyed his and yeah, nice hair. Dyed his hair black to make it more striking. Which was like, what made him? I wonder what made him think to do that. Like, I don't think anyone told him to do that. He was just like, I'm gonna use shoe polish to make my hair black.
Yeah.
Like, what the?
Yeah, I think he was he was definitely an artist who was aware of the kind of like effect he had on people, and maybe he had good advisors around him, but he knew how to like play to his strengths. I think
Yeah.
Yeah, it's important.
Yeah, 100%. I think he so you have the look, you have the style, which goes into, again, knowing to dye his hair black, and to the way he dressed, which he kind of took inspiration from, like freaking charismatic black pastors around him where he lived in like Memphis. I don't know if any of you have ever been to Memphis, but I was there not too long ago because I went to Elvis's house, Graceland, because my wife and I took a trip to Nashville, which was really fun. This was like I don't know, a year ago or something. I think it was my birthday or hers. I don't know, but and our birthdays are only a month apart, so hard to tell. I can't remember. But anyway, we went to Nashville, and then while there, go to Memphis, see Elvis's house, Graceland, which is like a freaking theme park, by the way. Like Graceland, it's this, yeah, it's crazy because it's just it's a house. It's a large piece of property, sprawling land. The house itself is large, but it's not like insanely huge, and it's not like super ostentatious. It's kind of like a sort of almost, I'm not going to say modest, but it's a Southern style, just kind of like all American, old world American style, Southern looking home. And with, and it's not insane. And then he's got the gate to the property with the long driveway up, and the gate is completely covered, riddled in writing and people's signatures and notes to Elvis and bubble gum and all kinds of stuff all over the gate to Graceland. Anyway, the point being, Memphis, where the house is, it's really for the most part, it's a wasteland. Like, it's and I want to be respectful because I'm an outsider to Memphis. I've never lived there, so I don't truly know. But let me just tell you that in the area around where Graceland is, it looks like a nuclear wasteland. And in terms of, you know, some people don't love the word ghetto, but I'm going to say it's a fucking ghetto all around. And you I was and you know, I'll drive through Compton or Watts in LA, you know, or East LA, and I'll jump out of the car, pump gas, whatever. I don't even I don't care. It's not scary really, but this something in the air, something about Memphis, at least around where Graceland is on the outskirts of Graceland. I didn't want to get out of my car to pump gas. I did, but it's like I didn't want to. It was the way people looked at me. There was a menace, there was a weirdness in the air. It felt like maybe desperation or maybe uh, uh I don't know, but it was a type of ghetto that I had never experienced. Okay.
Uh,
And I'm from Baltimore, and Baltimore has notoriously bad, it's worse than LA for sure in terms of
mhm.
danger or violent crime.
Yeah, I mean they shot The Wire there for reference to anyone who hasn't been to
Exactly.
Baltimore.
Yes.
Uh, yeah,
Yeah. Right. And of course,
that's
yeah. Yeah.
yeah, that's not interesting about Graceland. I mean, I imagine they'd be used to with a lot of visitors there. Maybe they're just like, oh, here comes another Elvis fan or something. I don't know. But anyway, go on.
I
What else
don't,
did you
yeah, you're
notice?
right. It could be that, but it was, you know how you know you're in a bad part of town when
Uh-huh.
you see a lot of adult, like middle-aged men sort of just standing around during the day and they're not homeless. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and
Yeah.
I mean that could also be a description of LA where no one works a normal job. But I'm
Yeah.
just saying, like, you know, you're when they just sort of stare at you as you, and again,
Yeah.
maybe it's just because they're like, oh, it must be another Elvis tourist, although they should be used to Elvis tourists going by now. But it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, you just see a lot of unemployed, like middle-aged men sort of just standing in loitering in different places and just kind of talking to each other, and
Right.
you don't know what they're waiting for or if they're waiting for anything. And it was just that kind of vibe all around Memphis, all around the area where Graceland was. It was a weird vibe. It felt dangerous. I don't know how to
Okay.
say it, but it didn't feel good. But I'm sure there are some good parts of Memphis. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think every city has its bad parts. It's just kind of ironic that Graceland
Yeah,
is around right
yeah.
outside of bad part. I mean, um, actually, I don't know if I'm wrong, but I believe there was even Disneyland might be out kind of in like a bad part of town in Florida. I'm only basing that off like a movie which I heard of where there's I forget the name, but this premise is there's a girl who lives in a bad part of town and she it's like a juxtaposition between Disneyland and her life kind of thing. But let's yeah, don't want to get into that because I'm not totally sure of my info and I best not to speak about stuff you don't know about. But
Yeah. But
yeah,
yeah,
every city has its bad parts. Uh, I
yeah.
remember um, I went drove in college. We went down. We had to go to a kind of like a college conference for extra credit for our class, and a bunch of us, like four of us, drove down from upstate New York into Philadelphia because we were like, oh, we have that's where the conference was, and so we were there was it's college, so there was a keg in the back seat, and everyone in the back seat was drinking to the point while one person drove and stayed sober. Yeah, for any cops who are listening, FYI. But yeah, so we drove into Philadelphia, and the driver made a wrong
Our main
wrong turn
listenership is
somewhere.
cops.
Yeah, trying to bust us
It's
with
all
something.
cops.
I'm gonna get them this time.
Now, I don't want to derail what you're saying, but there was this meme I saw recently that really
Yeah,
rang true for me, where
yeah.
it was like a guy who just finished his first it was a guy who had just finished his first podcast episode, and he was like, and the meme was something like, "Just finished my first podcast episode and am now serving time in the or something." It was like he had like handcuffs on,
Yeah.
and the cops were taking him away. Like it was like you get on a podcast and suddenly you're just like you don't even realize how much stuff you're saying that is just not is not supposed to be said in
Yeah.
like PC society or whatever. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
really
it's
funny.
funny because like a few years ago, everyone was like upset that the NSA was spying on them, and now everyone's just going on podcasts and willingly saying whatever the hell.
I know. I know. It's like
And
you don't
like,
know you it's almost like because you can't tiptoe your way through the whole thing because then it just sucks
no,
and it's not entertaining. It's not honest and fun. But
yeah,
it's like at the same, yeah, you're like, do I go all out? I guess there's a balance maybe one can find. I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah. And things happen. You start off talking about like
Yeah,
just like Graceland, and next thing you're telling everybody how you like to dress up in like a monkey outfit and
yeah,
and throw bananas off the freeway.
yeah.
And yeah,
I was thinking of saying that before.
hey,
Just
that's
yeah,
a secret.
it's fair game.
That's very good.
But since you're editing this episode, I have to say I'll watch what I say because at the end of the day, it'll be your call whether to take it out or not. No, I'm kidding. I won't
Cut it
watch
out.
what I say. Yeah,
Cut it out.
I'll leave that part in where Matt endorses genocide. That'll be good for him.
Hold that over your head in case you
Yeah,
ever, yeah,
yeah.
like cross me.
So you
Yeah.
want me to edit this episode, huh? I'll show you
You remember
editing.
that time we made that podcast episode and you talked about genocide? I left it out, but I kept the clip.
I'll be releasing it in 7 hours unless you hand over your farm and all your oxen.
Every last one of them.
You can keep the goats, but I want the oxen. Sorry, that was so derailing. What you were talking about
No,
a college trip with a
yeah,
keg
yeah, yeah.
and
Just to wrap it up,
it's like
so
Animal
we were
House.
drinking in the back seat, and one of our friends like passed out because he had quite a bit, and the driver
Wait.
took a wrong turn as we approached Philadelphia. And next thing, we're driving through this neighborhood where, windows are boarded up. Like every window that isn't boarded up has bars on the wall. You know, the kind of place Raul would like us to live in, but
Yeah, yeah. It sounds
but
like right, East Boston or Memphis. Oh, by the
or
way, just keep this in mind. If we are still going forward with the whole beeping out names thing, and
yeah, yeah, yeah,
you're
yeah, yeah.
editing this episode,
Sorry,
that'll be
that's
yeah.
one. That's one for the
You
books. Yep,
can. I
for
mean,
sure.
in my humble opinion, I don't think Raul or anyone would give a fuck about it. And honestly, we've been pretty, I think, nice and respectful to Raul. I
Sure.
mean, he was a funny guy, and like, yeah, we didn't take property from him, but it's like, it's not like we're smearing him. I,
No,
I
true.
mean, we did smear Jean. I mean, we actually Jean was nice. It's just she
She
did.
was she was nice. She
Yeah,
she was
she lied to us about the state of
yeah,
parking, but
yeah, yeah,
she
yeah.
misrepresented it, and
She was
I don't.
definitely selling it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and if Gene ever heard this, it's like, hey, Gene, I like you. I do. I like you, Gene. You did lie
Yep.
to me, but I like you. That's
Yeah,
all.
yeah. You were
Yeah.
good. You were good. You didn't
If you
bother
want to
us
take,
while we
yeah, if
lived
you
there.
want
None
to
of
take me to court
that.
because I mention your name in my podcast where I called out the fact that you misrepresented the parking situation of the place we wanted to move to, you go ahead and good luck with that. But I do like you. You're cool. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, that's all. I mean, yeah, good
Yeah.
luck. Like, sue me because you lied. Yeah, she's not gonna do that. But anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
No,
I'm sorry. So you mentioned Raul, and you were like,
no,
you
no.
were
I
going
was
through
yeah.
board it up. It looked like a place Raul would try to
Well,
have us move.
yep, 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 for sure. And yeah, we were driving around, and clearly we were in the wrong part of town. We all knew it. None of us said a word. Not at no point did any of us in the back pipe up and say, "Hey, man, did you miss a turn?" We all knew that this is not where the Geology Conference of North America is happening. We were like, "We're in the wrong goddamn spot here."
They
And
sure can pick a
while we're
spot.
circling around trying to leave, because for some reason we were, it's what it was like a labyrinth. We were just coming right back up to the same street, and the same three guys who were out on their front porch just kept looking at us, being like, "What are these guys doing?" And yeah, they didn't look happy. They, that deadpan face where they're just staring at you, like, "Yeah, you're not from here. What
Yeah,
are you doing here?"
that's exactly how they looked at me in Memphis, yeah. Everywhere I went, yes,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, and you're
It
getting
doesn't
like
feel
PTSD
comfortable.
from no, no, you're getting PTSD from like deliverance and stuff. You're like, wait, I need to get out of
Yeah.
here. you know.
Ding, ding,
You-
ding, 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 ding. Were the people around there like deliverance people, or what were
no,
they?
no, no, no. I exaggerate. They were just, but they weren't like deliverance people, but they were
Was
definitely
it
like
white people?
mix. But
Oh, okay, yeah.
they were definitely looking at us like, "What are you guys doing here? You don't look like you
Outsider.
belong here." Yeah. So
Yeah.
while this was happening, the guy who was passed out in the back seat, who he was this was during the day, so he had passed out with sunglasses on. He woke up, and he looked around. He looked to his left. He looked to his right, and then he looked at me, and then he just went right back to sleep.
Oh my god.
He was just.
we, we were my wife and I were in Santa Barbara, which is supposed to be a nice place. I think it's gone
Yeah.
downhill in recent years, maybe
Oh,
because when we were there, we turned a random corner and there were like 7 Mexican dudes all asleep together, almost like in a pile. And that one of them was asleep with his big old belly hanging out under, asleep on a moped, a parked moped. And
wow.
so from there, we coined the phrase "dead on a moped," but which is what we call ourselves when we go to trivia. But this guy was there was just a pile of like these Mexican guys, and one of them, yes, thank you,
Sorry.
and one of them was, oh, I'll never get sick of that. And anyway, what you just said made me think of it because it was all these guys and it was like the dead of sun baking down on them, and they were just sleeping, like 7 of them, like Snow White and the 7 Dwarves, just a bunch of these guys just asleep in the sun. They weren't homeless. I think they were workers, maybe, but it was like a pile of them, and one was asleep on a moped. Anyway, that's all.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see that stuff in India. I don't know if it's something about just hot climate or stuff, but like first of all, most places that are hot, India, Spain, I think even Mexico, and maybe even Italy for that matter, like when in the afternoon, not much happens. Like over here, people have their work day 8 to 5, but back home, like usually the way it works, I mean, sure, if you work for like a big multinational company, you work 8 to 5, but if you run your own shop, it is very common that a store uh, will shut down at 1 p.m. in the afternoon for like the afternoon siesta nap, and then reopen at 5 and stay open till 9. The reason I say that is because something about the heat, man, it just gets to you. You're just like, no, I can't work right now. It's too much.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The heat really it takes it out of you faster than you can possibly imagine.
Oh, yeah.
You don't even you don't even think it's going to affect you as much as it does.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, I know what you mean. Like going through a sketchy part of town and you just feel like eyes on you from everywhere, and it's weird because it's like, what is it about me that's making you so confident I'm not from here? Is it what? I mean, in the case of Memphis, I guess I could kind of get it. I guess I didn't look like the other natives around Memphis per se in that quadrant, but uh the why like if you're talking about the part of town you were in and they were looking at you like, "Oh, you're an outsider." Uh and you're saying they're not all black or white. It was kind of a mixed bag. Like, what was it about you that let them know you weren't from around there? Was it the way you were tentatively looking around left and right, like you didn't know where you were, or what?
Well,
What
I mean,
cues them
if you,
off?
yeah, definitely that. And I mean, if it was
Okay.
just me, I might say, well, because I, definitely didn't look like I was an American, because I was, in college, I had like long hair and like a goatee that all like metalheads kind of have. So like I definitely didn't look American, but like everybody else in the car was looked like American. Like they were like white, wearing baseball caps, kind of like thing. But I think we were just looking around like a couple of like lost rabbits, and they were just like, yeah, what are you doing? I mean, like let's be honest. Like none of them did anything to scare us, and I was not at all like threatened. But it was just like you said, it was kind of odd. Like it felt like we were somewhere where we weren't supposed to be. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know the feeling. That was yeah, like I it's like I remember one time driving around in Baltimore, and I got lost, and I kind of
Or
didn't know, and this was before we had easy GPSs. Like this was I was using like
right.
MapQuest printed out MapQuest stuff, like where
MapQuest.
you have like
Yeah.
all these leafy papers on the seat next to you,
Yeah.
like and one falls on the floor, you have to bend over and grab it while you're driving, and like you got little like pin marks on it and circles. Looks like you're on a treasure hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Count of Monte Cristo type shit,
Yeah. Yeah.
highlighting, on and stuff on it.
Yeah. All you
Uh,
Zennials listening right now, that was the thing. You
is that what
guys
they
have it easy navigating.
Zennials?
You just, I think that's what they're called.
They're called
I would
Gen
say.
Z. Do people call them Zennials? Holy shit, I didn't
Oh,
know that.
wait, maybe I'm messing up my generational slang. Sorry.
No,
Look at
I
me
kind of
sounding all boomer.
no, I kind of well, I mean, you're yeah, and you're not a
I'm not.
boomer,
I'm not a boomer.
but maybe it is a thing. I've just haven't heard it. I don't dislike it. Zennials, that's crazy.
Oh, I know. If I'm not mistaken, a Xennial is someone who's just born on like the cusp of millennial and Gen Z.
Mm,
So like
yeah,
they're
yeah,
kind of like just kind of stepping one foot in each
yeah.
generation. So they
Like
kind of
some of my
get both.
cousins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Some of my cousins too. Yeah, for that
Oh
matter.
wow.
But yeah, Gen
Yeah.
Z peeps, man, you guys have it easy. Navigating back
Technologically,
was
yeah.
pain. Yeah, it was a
Yeah, it
pain.
was a
But
pain. Yeah, you
but
had
we
to
we
like go
still
to
had it better. Like
Staples and print it.
MapQuest was still better. Like you had steps.
Right.
I remember because when I was a kid in '92, we visited the US, and me and my mom, and we visited my aunt, and they were super nice. They took us everywhere. They took us to like Disneyland, SeaWorld, all those places, and they lived in Phoenix, but they drove us to California to go to these places. And my uncle at the time, every time in the morning before we set off, he would just unfold this gigantic map on the hood of the car and just like be like, okay, I gotta go here. I don't know if you remember those
Oh,
maps, man.
100%, dude. Dude, I lost my phone. No, no, sorry. Yeah, okay. So I recently had a brief, um, turbulent taste of the way it felt to uh, before technology was more advanced with phones and navigation through phones and phone GPSs and everything. Because I lost my phone for one day because I dropped it. There's an elevator shaft in our apartment building. I dropped it in the elevator shaft by accident, obviously.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was trying to hold too many things, groceries, bags, or whatever, as I'm getting on the elevator, and there's like a crack in the floor there, where the elevator door meets the ground, and I dropped my phone, and it had to go right, slip perfectly right through that crack into the unknown abyss below. And fortunately, I was on the first floor when I did this, and so it didn't have far to fall. And to give away the end of the story early, it's a happy ending. I got my phone back. I had to
Oh,
pay
nice.
an elevator man like $200 or something to come out and get it because he only comes once every like 2 months, and I didn't want to wait 2 months to get my phone. Um, anyway, but it's like in like 30 minutes, this dude made like $200. I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna look at elevator men differently, maybe. But anyway, I had a taste of not having a phone for a day, and I didn't and up and I didn't know for sure if I was going to be able to get this elevator person to come out and get my phone for me. I was coordinating with our landlord or property manager rather, who was relatively unresponsive for a decent percentage of the coordinating process. And so I didn't know if I would get my phone back or when. And I was like, I need my phone to live, in today's in my life and in the life I've crafted in the world I live in today. I need it. I need the phone. But so for one day, I was and I went to the what's it called? The store for iPhone. My what do I use? A Spectrum. I went to the Spectrum store. I was like comparing deals and taking down notes, trying to figure out if I was gonna have to buy a new phone or how many payments left on the one I have. All this it was stressful.
Yep.
And meanwhile, as I'm going to these places and had these appointments, I had no phone to navigate. So I was like, "What? How? How do I get to places?" And I don't have an amazing sense of direction to begin. So I'm like, how do I get to these? But it was an interesting chat. I found myself at one point stopping at a gas station to ask a guy for directions.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this feels like I'm in 1975. Like,
Yeah.
I might as well have some of those little Daisy Duke jean shorts on with like a mullet, right now. I feel like I'm 1975.
Dress up like the Dukes of Hazzard. Just kidding.
Dress up exactly, yeah, dress up like, what's his name? Burt Reynolds from,
Burt Reynolds.
what's that movie where he's driving a lot?
Uh,
Not Dukes of Hazzard,
no,
Rocky Smokey and the Bandit, I
Smokey
think.
and the Bandit.
I
That's
think,
right.
yeah, with
That's right.
Sally Field.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I felt like him basically in that moment,
nice.
except yeah, not quite as cool, but,
I was going to say, Burt
no.
Reynolds.
Yeah,
Yeah, he always
no.
had that cool factor about him.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, but man, I mean, I don't, back in the day, like Seinfeld and stuff. I hate saying back in the day. I feel like it's like I'm in like an old age home. But I
Eh,
mean, it's that's
not
what
that
we
you're
reached at this point. Yeah,
not that
not that
old.
old, not that old,
Not
not
that
that
old.
old just yet. But like Seinfeld and those comedians, they were like making jokes about men not asking for directions. What that was a fun topic to talk about. It's irrelevant today. A comedian couldn't make that joke because like you don't need to
You're
do it
right. That's a
unless you lose
great
your
point.
phone or drop it down the elevator shaft, like
That's a great point. I remember at one point in that episode, I think it was either George or Kramer asked somebody, "Excuse me, where are we right now?" And the guy goes, "Earth." Made him feel extra stupid, and then just like drove away. But yeah, I kind of felt like that. You reek of desperation in today's world when you have no phone. But there's also a zen about it too. I mean, it was really honestly, it was an interesting day not having my phone
Yep.
because I never would have chosen it, but it chose me, and it was a mixed bag of emotions. It was like conflicting. On one hand, there was that stress of like, how do I get to appointments? How do I find my way around? I've been using a GPS in my own town for years. I'm stunted. I don't even know how to get places. What am I going to do? But then there was also this factor of like, no one can reach me.
Yeah.
I'm separate from the buzz and the clamor of society in this moment, and it was kind of nice.
Yep.
It felt kind of good. I was happy to get my phone back from the nice elevator man at the end of the day, but I did get a taste of that freedom
Yeah.
of no one can bother me, no one can text me, no one can call me. I was fully invested in each moment of the day. Like if
Yeah.
I was driving, there was no chance I was on my phone at any point because I had
Yeah.
no phone. So I was just looking at trees and streets and animals. Like I was just living in the moment of my life. It was
Yeah.
interesting. It was kind of
It is
cool.
liberating. I mean, these days, you know, it's a word, right? They say disconnect. Like just go disconnect. Like you disconnect from everything because you're so reachable these days. Like there's no
Yeah.
excuse anymore. Like yeah. I mean, if you um you know, when in the time of landlines, if you called someone's house, you want to reach your friend, and you called, and his mom was like, "Yeah, he's not home." Well, that's the end of it. You're gonna have to wait to call back until he's home or leave a message.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
like you can just whip out your phone and say, "Hey," you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
no,
It's
it's true. I never used the dial. Well, technically,
oh
the house I grew up in did have a phone with a spinny dial pad, but I
yeah.
think I used it maybe like once. I never really used it but it's
because
like,
because I
wow,
grew up in like in India in the 90s, I had access to a lot older technology. Not anymore. Like I said, these days we get things immediately as soon as it's out. Like I don't think there's
yeah,
any latency in technology,
in India,
reaching India anymore.
yeah.
But when I was growing up, and for example, in my house, we still had that phone where you had to like rotate the dial and it would rotate back. Um, when we watch American movies, I only see those phones like I don't even know. I think
You're
in the
talking about the
70s.
spinny dial
Mm-hmm.
on the
Yeah,
phone.
yeah, yeah, the spinny dial phones.
Oh wow, that's some Don Draper shit right there.
That is a
Makes you
thought.
feel like you're on Mad Men.
Yeah, except I
Kind of
wasn't
cool.
drinking whiskey all the time and smoking
Maybe you should
cigarettes.
have been. That would have completed the whole thing.
It got me kicked out of my house for sure.
Did your did your parents drink?
Yeah,
Yeah.
my dad and my uncle did. My mom never. She never drank or
Oh yeah.
smoked. My dad did both.
Mom
And
was the good
yeah,
one.
like I think I even asked him for like a sip of beer because it looked so good. Like as a kid, like it's like
Yeah,
golden with like a
I
nice
know.
like foamy white top, and you're like, that
Dew,
looks
yeah,
delicious.
dew
Can I
on the
have some?
glass. I know
Yeah.
it does look. It. I would say yeah, looks better than it is. Maybe. I mean, it's
Oh yeah.
fine. You get
Yeah.
used to the taste. It's not like, listen, if it didn't have alcohol in it, fucking nobody would drink it.
Yeah.
You know, which is why non-alcoholic beer is kind of an enigma to me.
Yeah. Who buys that stuff?
Well, you know
Yeah.
what? My theory. I think the people who buy it are alcoholics who are trying to quit.
Maybe.
They've become accustomed to the taste of it, and their brain associates that shitty taste, that bitter
Yeah.
taste, with happy times where
Yep.
they have no problems and they're drunk, and so
Yep.
they're in happy la la land in their brain, and so they get that taste in their mouth, and their brain goes, ooh, we're having a good time. Even
Yeah.
though they're not going to get drunk and there's no alcohol. So I think they wean themselves off that way. I can't imagine that anyone who had never had a drop of alcohol and had never been drunk, I can't imagine them running to the grocery store to buy a pack of non-alcoholic beer and being like, "Man, this stuff is just better than Coca-Cola. It tastes
True.
delicious." I don't think that
True.
would happen.
No, yeah, it doesn't matter how much mustache wax the brewer has put on his face. Like it just they can't sell non-alcoholic beer to me. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's just like no man. Like I get it. You're doing your thing,
Yeah.
but like the best thing about a beer is
The
that
only way I could see someone drinking non-alcoholic beer who has never drank alcohol would be like if they were at like an Oktoberfest event or something
yeah,
and they
you're right.
just want to feel like
Part of it.
included, like they're
Hmm.
taking part in it somehow.
Yeah.
Um which is whatever. Yeah, fine, to each his own. But yeah,
Yeah.
I could maybe see that, but yeah.
If
Doesn't taste that
one of
good.
those fantastic looking Oktoberfest waitresses ever came
Okay.
and gave me
They look
non-alcoholic
so
beer,
good.
I would probably take it. I would probably drink it. I'd be like,
Oh yeah.
I can't say no to you.
I would drink
Yeah.
more than that from the waitress. I I would drink, yeah, just a little bit of mud. You could put some mud in. Only a little, but I will. You can have maybe 15% mud because your top, you look fucking fantastic, and so
Yeah.
I will drink just a little mud
Right.
in my beer. That's fine. It's okay.
It's totally
It's not
okay.
what I want. I don't want the mud. But if my options are don't drink the mud and you go away,
Yep.
or
Yep.
drink 15% mud, like maybe we can negotiate 10% and then you stay.
Yep.
We
Yep.
could do the 10% mud.
Sure. Yeah.
12.
And guys are really simple that way. We're
Very
it's
visual.
very
Men are so
very
visual. It's a
so
cliche thing
visual.
to say, but it's
Yeah.
just fucking it's true.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
I'll see the way women look at men and versus the way men look at women. Holy shit, it's so fun. I had this because there's this popular thing to say today that like
Mhm.
um uh life is so much harder for women than it is for men. And
Mhm.
I definitely think that in some ways it definitely fucking is. I mean, I can't imagine having a period every month. I can't. It looks like it sucks. I can't imagine, having to give birth to a
Right,
child. Holy
right.
shit, that looks
Yeah.
horrible. I can't imagine. I'll never have to do that. That's a fortunate thing about being a man. There's no question. We will never know what that's like. Okay, we can think that we know. We don't know, and I don't think we even think that we know. So yeah,
No,
but
no.
but
I
it's
don't I
just
don't pretend to even
no,
understand or,
no.
empathize. Nope.
Which is why I'm not like one of these hardline anti-abortion people, because I'm like, listen, I'm a man. I can have whatever opinions I want, but at the end of the day, I'm never going to have to give birth to a child.
Yep.
And I'm
Yeah.
never going to know even a percentage of what that's like. And
Nope.
so I'm not going to presume to tell women what they're allowed to do on that front. Okay? Because all I have to do in that process is ho ho ho, and that's it. And I'm out. I'm off to buy my non-alcoholic beer.
See you later, baby. I'm off to Graceland. Just
See you later, baby. I got some badass shit to do. There's a new alcoholic beer at Macy's. Why would it be at Macy's? At Ralph's.
Ralph's. Yeah.
Ralph's just came out with a Kroger's brand non-alcoholic beer.
Non-alcoholic beer.
And
Shoppers
if
Drug
you
Mart
think you're going to
presents.
keep me around this popsicle stand for one more minute, good luck with the baby. I'm out.
Ralph's non-alcoholic
I'll send you a check in a month.
beer.
Yeah, men don't have to
Uh,
do a whole lot in the childbirthing department. Yeah, certainly nothing compared. So, it's like, but anyway, to get back to what I was trying to, there's this whole thing today, though, because you know how it is. It's like everything has to go all the way to one side of the pendulum or the other. You can never have
right.
balance. You can't
I
have
know.
gray area.
I
It
know.
has to be either life is easy as pie for every man, or it's difficult. It's one of the other.
I
You
know.
can't. It can't be the reality of the balance that life is, because that's boring. People want to fight in today. It feels like people want, and maybe that's fueled by social media and all this. You go in the comments section
Probably.
under
I
anything,
know.
and it's like it's a war. And I
Yeah.
never comment on anything anymore ever. That's a lie. I did yesterday, but I'm not supposed to. I promised myself I wouldn't. I broke that promise yesterday, but it was a fairly benign comment. Let's hope no repercussions come of it.
I know. I know what you mean. I myself, sometimes I go online and I'm just like, what the hell is this?
Ugh,
What? No, I have to
that
say something. And then I start to type, and then like sometimes I go through with it. Most of the time, as I type it out,
it's
sometimes I
never
type a
good.
long response because I'm just like, I gotta address this. But then at the end of it, I'm like, why?
Why?
Why? The guy is probably trying to
Why?
get trying to get a rise out of me.
Oh,
You
trust
know?
me, I know, dude. It's the trolls and the negativity. It's off the charts. It's
I
crazy,
know.
and you're better off not commenting anything, even a positive comment. Listen, I
Yeah.
knew this a long time ago, but I only listened to my own advice as of recently, where I really scaled back and I try not to comment at all, not even positive things. But I knew this a while ago because some years ago, I went on YouTube. I was trying to find a scene from a Mad Men episode where
Mm.
Don Draper punches this annoying comedian in the face in a bar.
Oh
Did
yeah.
you ever see that scene?
I know that scene. Yeah, I like
Okay.
that scene.
It's a super cool scene. Like he goes up to this annoying mouthy comedian. Um, to be fair, Don was like in the wrong in the larger perspective of
Yep.
like he had basically banged, I guess, the wife of that comedian, because Don Draper just fucks everything that moves.
Mhm.
But well, I mean that's not, but yeah.
Yeah.
And so in the larger perspective, I guess he was in the wrong, but the comedian had already told him off in a previous scene, like really told him off, and it like sank in. You could tell that it like bothered Don Draper. Like the comedian's insult to him was like, he basically called Don Draper a piece of garbage to his face. So the comedian had already called him out and made his point, but he sees Don Draper in this bar minding his own business, living his life, and this is like long after, this is after the whole affair thing. and he has to mouth off to Don again. And so I think at that point, Don basically wanted to send him a strong message that he had had enough. And of course it's Mad Men, so they have to show, you know, the the sort of image of men in that era resorting to fisticuffs now and then if called for. So Don walks up to the comedian in the bar with a smile on his face
Mhm.
that looks like he's going to walk up and shake his hand or something. You don't know what's coming, and then suddenly Don just pops this massive straight line punch in the guy's jaw and just levels him with just, it's a cool scene. It's unexpected, and
Yeah.
it's a badass scene. And anyway, I went on YouTube to find that scene. You know how sometimes you go on YouTube to find a specific scene,
Yeah.
and I looked it up. Probably typed in something like Don Draper punches comedian in bar, or whatever, and I found the scene, and I simply commented under it, "Wow, this is such a great scene. Man, you just don't see that coming. What a great scene," something like that. And I got one comment like a day later, and it just said, "Shut the fuck up." There's no pleasing anybody. It's you're I just wanted to share a positive feeling I had about a show I liked, and boom, slapped in the face. So he punched me like Don Draper punched that comedian, basically. But anyway, it's just like, don't comment. You're just not,
No.
you can't win.
Yeah.
But anyway, but so there's this culture we live in of just trolls and
Yeah.
negativity online and antagonistic perspectives and just extreme perspectives. I don't know where all this shit is coming from, but whatever it is, it's intense sometimes, and it can be overwhelming to the point you don't want to even use social media. That's how I feel a lot of times. And I don't use it for the most part.
Yeah.
Um, I try to stay off of it, and I'm happier when I do.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, but there's this thing today that women have it hard, men have it easy. That's it. And you know, it's like you'll hear someone try to express a perspective like, oh yeah, I heard a guy talking to his teenage daughter um, a little while back, saying something like, yeah, it's awkward being a teenage boy. It's like, well, there's just so much awkwardness. It can be tough. He said something like that, which is a
Yeah.
true statement.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
I mean, men are human too, and they'll have heartbreaks, and sometimes girls will cheat on them, and they'll have disappointments, and they'll have pressure put on them, not the same kind of pressure, but other kinds of pressure. Yeah. And they'll feel like a failure sometimes. Whatever the human experience, the spectrum of human experience is, men will have some of that too. Okay. And so he was simply mentioning it like offhandedly. And his daughter, who I'm sure is a student of current trends, uh, just snaps like aggressively back at him and is like, "Oh no, they don't. No, oh no, no, they don't. You don't know what you're talking about, Dad. Yeah, men have it so easy." And it's like, hold on. I'm not saying men don't have it easy in some of the ways that you're thinking they do in your head right now. They probably do. But they also have it hard in some other ways. And it's okay to say that. Like, for example, guess what? We're not allowed to cry. And if you do cry, you better have a damn good reason. Like, for example, the Pledge of Allegiance is playing, or you're looking over the Grand Canyon. That's a Ron Swanson quote. But you better have a damn good reason to be crying, because you can't go cry baby pussy boy all over town, because
Yeah.
you're not going to gain respect like that way. It's not and that's even just a silly cliche example. Here's a bigger example, which is, listen, I'm going to be just like frank about this. And this is, speaking of, you brought up Seinfeld. This is mentioned in a Seinfeld episode. I can honestly tell you this is totally 100% true. If a man meets an attractive girl, is superficiality a bigger issue on one side than the other? Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I think so, you know, and I know that girls compete with about their looks more than men compete with other men in that way. But to not get sidetracked, it's like if you meet a girl, you're a dude, you meet a girl, she's attractive, she's hot, whatever, or she's cool and cute and you want to talk to her, you want to date her. You ask her what she does, or she tells you what she does, and she says, you know, and they talked about this time, I'm a cashier, or she says, you know, you know, I drive Lyft, or I deliver food right now. I'm figuring it out. Or they say, you know, you know, um, I'm a waitress. You know, you you don't care. You don't care. I don't care. I don't think other guys, 99% of other men do not care what women do for a living. They do not care how much money they make. I can tell you it's not the same way from the other side looking back. Women do care. Not all women, but a lot more than men do. And so it's like, yeah, I'm again, it's if I were to bring that, like, there's pressure on men from their fathers to have a successful career, to do something with their life that's impressive. There's pressure on men to accomplish and to, I'm not saying that women can't put pressure on themselves to do those things, but society and their parents or their dads or whatever, their teachers are not, don't put the same level of pressure on them to have an impressive career path as the pressure which is applied to men. I don't believe. I don't think, from my experience. Um, but you can't say that. You're not allowed to say that if you're talking to someone who's aggressively telling you that women have it really hard and men have it really easy all of the time, every day, every minute. If you're talking to someone like that, you're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to meet in the middle. Anyway, that's just my rant, I guess, on that. But there's gray area, is all I'm
Yeah.
saying in life.
No, that, and I think what you said at the very beginning was spot on, which is like everyone kind of is like at one extreme of things or the other. Like there's no kind of like no one oscillating in the middle. But you know, the thing is like the more people I speak to, um, or sometimes you actually see reasonable people online who do kind of like are just like, yeah, they're in the middle of things. They don't believe in one extreme or the other. They don't believe like men have it completely easy, or they don't believe that women have it completely easy. Like I think like the sensible, um realistic people are just like, yeah, we each have our ups and things that are easy for us, but things that are difficult for us. Like it goes like there's some things that it's easier for women, and there's something that's easier for men, and
Hopefully
something
that's the
difficult for
silent
both.
majority, but I
I,
don't
you
know.
know,
I don't know. I
if
really
you
don't
go
know.
online, you'd never know it, because, like,
No.
online, it just seems to be filled with trolls, and it's getting worse now because there are AI bots that people use, and it's not even because they believe in one extreme or the other. It's just because they want engagement. They want people to get offended. They want people to engage in a post. The more somebody engages in the post, the more like the algorithm is going to like push it, one way or the other, because they're seeing that a lot of people are interacting with this. So
Right. And it's
sometimes, like,
because of
actually,
that It's because of
yeah,
that that people like the Kardashians, or people who are hateable
mhm,
in their way,
yeah,
get huge, and they know it. Or like that, I don't know, there's some podcast girl, I forget her name. It doesn't matter. And why even, yeah, it doesn't matter, but it's like they game the system, and I don't understand how some people can be so comfortable, not even comfortable being hated or disliked, but almost like they 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 like it, or they get off to it. It does not bother them to be a villain, or to stand for nothing, and to be a symbol of nothing, and to be offering zero hope, genuine hope, to anyone out there, or zero insight, zero introspection, reflection, anything of actual lasting value. They offer none of it. and they're totally happy that way. I don't understand that way of being, but I do know that the time we live in is a time that is ripe for those types to get hugely successful. Um, which sucks for people who aren't pieces of shit, but yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I'll give you one more example. Like there was actually this like some actually Instagram content creators have actually exposed it. So like one thing that I noticed maybe a few months ago, I was like, and I never noticed it before, but I would go online and I would just see a lot of like social media posts kind of like bashing India or Indians, like just saying like, like just putting the whole country
Wow.
down, and yeah, just saying like Indians are this, Indians are that, and like this is, look how dirty India is. And I'm just like, what the hell? Like
Thanks,
I
dude.
know like these are all true. These are all true in the sense like I know India is a polluted place. There's a lot of people there, and I know we have, just like every other country, we have our share of like scammers and criminals who do messed up stuff. I totally know that, but why suddenly such a surge of it? And
Vitriol.
then like these content creators, I'm very grateful to them. They actually exposed it. They were like, the easiest way to get go viral is just like we have street vendors in India, and we have good street vendors, and we have bad street vendors in India, like street vendors who are in like really poor neighborhoods, and they don't follow, obviously they don't follow like they, a code of hygiene. There's no like health inspector going and checking them out, like so they do like they don't put gloves on when they prepare their food, kind of stuff like that. And there's viral videos of them online, and like these creators just said like all you need to do is take one of these viral videos and react to it, and you will go viral, because that's the kind of stuff the algorithm is pushing. And some of them even proved it by doing that, and I was just like, holy hell, this isn't even people, this is just an algorithm that's pushing it, and this is just kind of like fueling a whole bunch of
Yeah.
nonsense. And I was
That's what
just
that
like,
movie,
man.
this new movie that's out, The Mountain Head. It's, I don't know, it's streaming on Netflix or something, one of those platforms. Maybe it's Hulu, I don't know. But it's like this movie about this group of like ultra wealthy, multi-billionaire tech nerds, like a
Yeah.
la Facebook founder, what's his name? Lizard Eyes. What is his name again?
Uh,
Salamander. Johnny
what's his
Salamander.
name?
Redhead Salamander Eyes. What's the
Yeah,
guy's
damn, I forget his name.
um
Man, that sucks.
fuck.
But yeah, wait, you mean
Not
the
Jeff
head, the
Bezos. Not Jeff Bezos.
Zuckerberg, right? Mark
Zuckerberg, thank
Zuckerberg.
you.
Yeah.
Yes, Zuckerberg. But the yeah, it's anyway, the movie is just like a bunch of guys like him and Jeff Bezos types meeting up, and they like, one of them has like this product that, it's a lot of what they're talking about is based around social media interaction and gaming the system of social media and getting people all
Hmm.
in an uproar for the purpose
Yeah.
of driving their product forward, their software, whatever, their app and
Yes.
stuff. And one of them has like this software that is, it's like AI software that is so realistic. The idea is government agencies are able to utilize it to trick people into thinking that horrible atrocities are being committed against humans in certain parts of the world in order to stoke flames of vengeance in the direction they want, using his software, with fake, oh my God, this guy just got his head blown off by a member of the opposition. I knew
Uh,
they were evil.
right.
So that's
Yeah.
a big part of it. And then one of the other guys there kind of was wants to stop him, blah, blah, blah. But the, the point being, it's just amazing what the way it's like it's just been such a big adjustment that we're still adjusting to, but I feel like we've made progress. We can see through some of the bullshit, but
Yeah.
it's been such a big adjustment the last 10 years technologically speaking, starting
Yeah.
with just the whole Napster thing, and people getting music and movies for free, and it destroying those industries, and they have to rebuild in a different way that works for the modern paradigm, all this. And it's like it's this, and the social media thing and those algorithms add on to that, where it's like, because they cropped up in the midst of that space, and they're sort of there. It's like with music, it's like been this thing of like, I mean, part of the reason you'll hear songs on the radio, huge radio stations today, that never could have gotten airplay 15, 20 years ago, because they're just too musically boring. They're not, and that's not me being an old man. That's me saying, from a, you can, go watch Rick Beato's YouTube channel. He has a zillion videos on this, but he's a really accomplished musician, and but it's like, there's just from a, literally from a basic music theory standpoint, it'll be like, it's they're not interesting. Like a lot of the music, it's not. And here's the proof of that: you forget it. No one remembers them. We're still singing Yesterday by Paul McCartney. In 20 years, I'll be real surprised if one of Little Yachty's bangers is still playing, and people are thinking it's great. I don't mean to throw him under the bus, but I don't really give a shit. But like, it's like, that'll surprise me. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
maybe I'll be surprised, maybe, but I doubt it. And
Yeah.
because there was people would spend like 2 years finishing a song that they knew had potential, or more years. You can hear, so it's like Kurt Cobain used to downplay how hard he would work on a single song, but then the bassist Chris Novoselic was like, oh, no, 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 Kurt worked really, really hard on his songs. Like, he
Yeah.
spent like 3 years finishing the lyrics to Lithium. But Kurt would literally lie to, and I love Kurt Cobain and I love Nirvana, but like, Kurt would he wanted to promote this image of being an effortless genius to the world. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even care, and I just shit out Smells Like Teen Spirit in my sleep,
Yeah.
And it's like, he didn't. Like,
No.
he worked his craft like a madman, and he would spend sometimes years until he would call a song finished. And not that he wasn't working on other songs in the meantime, but it's like, yes, Axl Rose talks about it. He would spend years working on
Yeah.
some of his best songs. And I don't, the contingent that I'm speaking of right now, the Little Yachty, Little Pump, whatever modern day, I can't believe this is on the radio, it's not good enough to be here contingent, that group, I don't think that they do that. And yet they can still have like a number one hit. And you're like, you spent an hour on this, and it's like, well, the public knows, it's just proof that it is great. No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's because of the way trends work. It's because of the way people's insecurity about being left out of certain perceived trends works, and how that can stoke the flames of a certain stupid trend that lasts like a few years and then goes away. And people are like, why did people like that? Like bell bottoms, although they're back now. So, and
Yeah.
mullets are back too. So,
Yeah.
hey,
What
there you go.
happened?
Yeah, who knows what the fuck could happen? Maybe Lil Yachty's songs will be popular in 20 years. I mean, mullets and bell
Yeah.
bottoms are back. But that being said, from just a music theory standpoint, and just a standpoint of someone who really cares about music and loves music, those kind of number one hits are not good or interesting. Okay. I'm not labeling everything that's similar to that as bad, by the way. I'm simply saying, you hear some stuff on the radio today and you go, how is this here? How is this here? This is not interesting. And I'm a music lover who has listened to lots of genres and lots of
Yeah.
music and loves music. And I'm finding this like boring. Like, I could listen to it once and that's enough. I never want to hear it again. But you hear, you hear a song like, I don't know, I'm not going to name specific ones, because then, oh, you're an old head or whatever. But it's, what I'm talking about. It's like, you hear a song that is still considered a classic that people still love today. Like that freaking
Yeah.
Kate Bush song. Sorry, I don't know
Yeah.
why
No,
Yoda
it's a
voice
great
coming out.
song. I love that
But
song. I
that
mean,
Kate Bush song was like dormant for years, and then
yeah.
they dropped it into an episode of
Stranger
Stranger Things,
Things.
and suddenly it was like, you just hear it everywhere. She made like, I think, she made a lot of money from that, later in life, and it's like, um because it's a good song and it has an interesting melody and it sticks with you and you hear it and you kind of remember that you heard it and you kind of want to you don't mind hearing it again. And I don't hear that many songs like that coming out today. But uh and I'm not like a negative Nancy who's like, it's never gonna happen again, the best is behind us. I'm not at all.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't think
No.
that at all. I don't believe that. I heard someone say that once recently, like, "Yeah, I think the best music is behind us." You don't know
No.
that.
You
You
don't
don't
know
know
that.
that. You don't have a
You
crystal
don't know.
ball.
You have no idea
Be
who's
a
out there.
future reader, future teller,
Yeah.
fortune
Yeah.
teller. Yeah, so it's not, you don't, it doesn't have to be like all doom and gloom like that, but it's, yeah, it is a thing. And where did that launch off from? Oh yeah, the algorithm stuff. So
Yeah.
how could boring music become so popular and successful? Well, I think it has a lot to do with those people knew how to game that system. They had what that system needed to make them successful, and whatever that was, it wasn't having a good song. It was something else. It was, what does this person look like, or what group are they fitting into, or what do they represent to people, or how do they stoke people's insecurities to make them feel like they have to listen to that to fit in, or it's the algorithm being like, oh, music labels don't have the money anymore to like sign and develop a band that's unproven. They don't want to risk that investment anymore like they used to. So instead, they look to these metrics on social media. I'm kind of parroting stuff. I'm not, by far not the first to say this stuff. So hopefully it's not just too much regurgitation, but I do find it interesting and I do find it true. But it's like they're using these metrics of like, oh, this has 20 million likes or whatever, or this has, 10 million likes or 20 million views. That means that we need to like sign them. We need to like put money behind them. And it's like the having that many likes on social media or that much attention has a lot to do with the way the algorithm is designed to drive certain kinds of energy and attention. And that energy and attention is not always based on lasting quality. So you'll get some real garbage that gets pushed to the top that's not valuable, certainly not in the long run and barely in the short run. And it's like it could still get huge in like the world today.
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess, but
It,
I've gone
it's
on that a
also I
while.
think it's also got to do with kind of like how people listen to music today. I mean, and we've talked about this, like, back listening to music when it was on CDs and stuff, like you would kind of like, you would either
Oh,
meet
you
up with
would
a
pour
friend,
over it.
you would sit and you'd put it
Oh,
on, and
wear
you'd
that
look
thing
at the
out.
album art, like you would really indulge yourself, like, yeah, people still do that today, but it's not the same. It's
Yeah.
usually you hear music on Spotify, maybe while it's running in the background while you're doing something else.
Yeah.
So like, it's the age of multitasking. Like, you don't nobody ever does just one thing at one time anymore. So the music has also become, I feel like, more kind of like a background kind of music, background music, lo-fi music. That's kind of more popular because it's just running in the background.
Yeah, and you
So
could
yeah.
exchange any one track for another and you won't know the
Yeah,
difference.
you wouldn't know. You couldn't tell. You couldn't tell. There's no hook that sticks with you.
Yeah.
There's no like,
But
oh, I
here's
love
why
that part,
That's
kind
right.
of
But
thing.
here's why I think that will be obsolete soon. AI is getting better at emulating music. The first music to die from that is going to be the easiest to emulate.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
enough said. And so
yeah, yeah,
the formulaic unoriginal shit, that's going to die first.
yeah.
If you want to be a musician and you want to make a living or have a shot at making a living doing music, you're going to have to be more unique and original than the AI.
It's time to develop your voice, and that goes for writing as well. Like, AI is really good at like emulating writing, and but if you
It's
so
okay
unless
at
you
it.
have a
Yeah,
strong voice, I mean, at the moment, but in the future, yeah, I don't know
yeah,
what's going to do.
it'll
But
get
if you have
better. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. as unless you have a strong voice, unless you
Right.
can really kind of like when somebody reads,
Right.
because like there are artists, musicians, writers, even directors. When you watch their stuff, they're like, this is a Quentin Tarantino direction. Even if it doesn't say, you can kind of like tell like that's kind of like his style because of the way he writes his dialogue and the way
Oh
his
yeah.
scenes are,
Right.
or you can tell if
Yes.
this is Stanley Kubrick because
Yes.
of his
The way he
fucking
frames
same.
the shot
Yeah, exactly.
and the way the
Yeah,
light looks, everything. Yeah,
right.
it's all
Yeah.
signature to him.
You could, even if someone doesn't tell you, you can listen to a Nirvana song and be like, "That's Nirvana. I know it's Nirvana.
Yeah, and
That
even
sounds
the
like Kurt
tone,
Cobain."
you could even the tone of it, you'll just know. And when I hear, yeah, it's you're right. It's that signature voice. It's having a voice, and I do think it'll become more and more. So when people ask me as a creative or a musician or whatever, are you worried about AI? Are you threatened by it? No, I have to tell you, I'm not, because first of all, I do think it as of now, it's still garbage for the most part. I mean, I've heard the like where they imitate like Chris Cornell's voice and stuff, and I'm like, this is not a human singing. Maybe some people think it is. I don't know if whatever. But also, like, what I know about technology is that it can emulate, but I haven't seen it originate yet.
Yeah,
Not in a way that glows with value for humans. It like if I've seen AI do a very convincing and great sounding, by the way, imitation of a certain genre. Okay, like I met a guy who was talking to me about AI. He was like, "Oh, if you think AI isn't a threat, let me show you this baby." And he like shows me this hip hop song that was completely AI generated, and I didn't feel a single thing. I was like, this just sounds like a melting pot of other stuff I've heard. It's really formulaic and it's not that interesting. I don't feel threatened by this. Um, so unless AI can figure out a way to, and he was so impressed by it, but that's okay, because as long as there are people like me, and there's a lot of them who do see through that bullshit. I'm not patting myself on the back. I'm just saying, and you're one of them, Curran. You would have seen through it immediately. But it's like, you're not going to fool the people who are the most important ones to fool, unless you really step it up. And it's like, because there's, if the people who are good at sniffing out bullshit sniff out your bullshit, there's a ceiling to how far you can go with your thing. Because those people are always out there. And there's always going to be those people who cannot smell bullshit. They have no receptors in their nose that can smell shit. They just can't. And those people are great for the AI, and those are the people the AI will prey on first and will hope are out there. But you're gonna always have that group of people who really do smell the bullshit, and you got to get past them. And AI's not past them yet. With their with most of the stuff, with any of the stuff I've heard, and it's like, you're gonna have to. I feel like AI, to be a real threat to the artists or to human creativity, I feel that AI would need to reach a level where it was able to originate and not just imitate, where it was able to, or not just emulate, or is able to create something that is not only original and idiosyncratic, but also holds value to a human listener. And doing both of those things at once is really hard, because it's difficult for me to imagine how a non-human device could sense how to walk that delicate line between original but not too original, familiar but not too familiar. You know what I'm saying? And in a way that is going to speak to the soul of a human. I mean, hey, if it gets to that point, we'll be talking a whole other ball game. But it
yeah.
ain't there. It ain't there yet. So it's
No,
not there. It's not there yet. I don't say that in a cocky way. I just say it in a factual way. Like, it's not there yet. So, but anyway, yeah, it's an interesting topic. Um, but
uh,
yeah,
we're living in interesting times. No one can say with certainty how AI is going to evolve. But I mean, I think what you said is spot on, which is it's more about mimicking rather than creating right now, which is something that even most of the experts in the field have said. They say it's not like it's coming up with stuff. It's saying that it's reviewing what's already out there and
Analyzing it.
and analyzing it and emulating it. That's
Right,
all
which is
it,
what the
it
human
does.
brain which is what the human brain also does to an
Absolutely.
extent, but there's this X factor in the
Yeah.
human brain that I don't even completely understand,
Yeah.
where there's this judgment that's in there where they're they s- it's almost like a connection between souls or something, where there's a frequency that we're all sort of riding or sort of in touch with. And even if whether you're 7 years old or 45 years old, you feel it. And it's like human artists kind of get that. And and I don't think technology does yet. But I don't know. Maybe it will someday, but I don't know. So for now I'm not worried about it personally. But yeah. But I mean, that gives me even more. Honestly, it's vitalizing. It's motivating because it's like it just gives you all the more reason to just dive obsessively into the stuff that makes your stuff you and makes it idiosyncratic and unique. Because you're like, yeah, I'm gonna beat the robots. Like I'm gonna be more original than the robots. I'm gonna than the AI. I'm gonna record this guitar part with this old ass unique, Marshall amp or whatever that kind of has its own sound and doesn't sound like any other, because that'll just be one more little like thing that separates me from AI. And it's like yeah, the harder you are to emulate, the less like AI you are. And yeah, anyway, so yeah, I think the lo-fi stuff may have a shelf life on it with AI being,
You know,
but yeah.
it reminds me. I've shared this quote with you before, but there's this book which I'm sure pretty much a lot of people are aware of, especially if you like to write. It's called Elements of Style. It's almost like a handbook that writers carry with them. But in that, at the end of that book, the authors leave a note about imitating, because it's I know that sometimes people who are creative, like they stress about that. They're like, oh, this sounds so much like this, or this sounds so much like that, or this kind of writes this way, writes that way. These guys put it in a really good way. I'm just gonna, don't mind, read this quote which I just
Please
pulled
do.
up
I
from
love
the end
when
of
you
the book.
read stuff. Yes.
Yeah, I
Please.
like this quote. This is a good quote. So it's not the entire quote. If you want to read the whole thing, I recommend actually getting the book. It's very small, but it's really, really nice. But here's just a quick little snippet from it, which I really liked, which is what he says is the use of language begins with imitation. The infant imitates the sound made by its parents. The child imitates first the spoken language, then the stuff of books. The imitative life continues long after the writer is secure in the language, for it is almost impossible to avoid imitating some what one admires.
Yeah.
Never imitate consciously, but
Yeah.
do not worry about being an imitator, because
Yes.
that happens. Take pains instead to admire what is good. Then, when you write in a way that comes naturally, you will echo the forgive me for mispronouncing, the hallows that bear repeating. So
Yes, that's
like
it. The greats.
it's good.
Emulate the yeah,
Yeah,
draw your I love the quote, draw your inspiration from the greats. Don't draw it from whatever fleeting trend happens to be happening right this second. Or do draw it from that if warranted, but like be aware of the greats. Like be if you're especially if you're an artist, like be aware of the greats. Like know what they did, at least some of them. Like be aware of some of that, because it could really help you and it could really add depth to what you're bringing to the table and where you're
yeah,
drawing inspiration from, because there's a reason they're considered great. There's a reason 99% of the time there's a reason they're considered great, and that they people still talk about them to this day. And so figure out what that is that made them considered great and be aware of that, because they lasted and people are still talking about them. And we don't know if people will still be talking about, you know, Post Malone in 20 years. And I think Post Malone seems like a really nice guy, by the way, and he seems cool, but and I do think he is talented in some ways. Um uh like pretty good singer and stuff, and but it's like and also I'm not the person to ask about it, because to be fair, I haven't been a devotee a devoted fan of his. I haven't heard all of his stuff. I'm not real qualified to speak on, but it's like totally cool to draw inspiration from him or from something current that you like. But please, like, do also, yeah, it's good to be aware of some of the greats have lasted. It's a proven lasted anyway. But
Yeah.
I love the quote. Don't be afraid of emulating something that inspires you, as long as you're doing it sort of naturally and not in a forced or contrived way. As long
Yeah.
as you're doing it sort of subconsciously and just kind of channeling it subconscious, letting it flow through you, totally amazing things can come out of that. I mean, even just to jump back again to Nirvana, Kurt Cobain, it's like um they wouldn't have had the sound that they had if the Pixies hadn't come before them, or if some of, like,
Right.
he didn't start the, like,
Yeah.
that punk or grunge, movement. He wrote it, but he
Yeah.
basically fused that sort of janky, aggressive, grungy tone that people like the Pixies had, and that sort of quirky guitar playing style of, like, single notes sharply ringing out and stuff. He fused that sound, or that, with a melodic style that really was from the classics and from the that came before him, from, inspired by the Beatles and these kind of very melodic, hooky melodies,
Right.
and style of songwriting that was this established kind of pop style. He melded those together, and that gave him his success. But
Yeah.
so nothing under the sun is completely original, and if it is,
Right.
it's probably not popular.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's
It's
probably
not.
not relatable.
It's yeah. It's not like anything comes out of a vacuum. Like it's
No.
everything that exists. Especially if you study something, you know that nothing new comes from came by itself. Like it's an evolution. It's a derivation and an improvement on something that already existed. I mean, like it's not like an elephant just appeared one day. It evolved from
Yeah.
years and years of kind of
Yeah.
natural selection and
And that's a really difficult balance to strike, by the way, that balance
yeah.
of new enough but familiar enough at the same
Yeah.
time. And that's
Yes.
why
Yeah.
that's why I'm open to all music of all levels of popularity. I will consider, and I will be open to, always have been, because I know that it's really hard to make something that uh is a hit, or to
Yeah.
make something that is original enough to not be dismissed immediately, and to sort of stick with you or stand out in some way, but also familiar enough to be relatable and to sort of connect with you. Like that's this delicate line to walk that not everybody can do, and like is and you have certain bands that are more, maybe rank higher on, like, the pure originality scale than others, and there's a place for them, but uh they probably weren't trying as hard to dig and to find that perfect balance, that line where originality and familiarity meet, but in a way that is not off-putting or easily dismissed. They probably weren't pushing as hard to find that balance, which is totally fine, but that's, you know, they're not they won't be as popular, but I don't think that makes them better or more respectable innately than a band that is like, No, I want to connect with people with this, but I also want to have street credibility. I want to have credibility and make something that's legitimately considered, that is good, and respectable, but is also can connect.
Yeah.
It's an
I mean,
interesting
I think
balance.
that's the X factor that humans always have is because even I could show you and another person the same music, but you would probably then tell you come up with a song, and both of you would come up with a completely different style of song because you would at the end of the day you derive from your own experiences in life, and no matter what you will never experience something that somebody else has. I mean, I think that's why we there's no shortage of fresh voices that are always coming out of seemingly nowhere and blowing people's minds because it's just the way
Yeah,
that's the way it's always been. It's like somebody takes something, they add their experiences to it, and they create something that just kind of like resonates with a lot of
yeah.
people.
Do you think
And
it
I
would
mean,
be do you think it would be harder for AI to successfully emulate, like, if the goal of AI is to create a musical hit with no human involvement,
mm,
would the m the melody writing part of the process be harder for AI to achieve successfully, or the lyric writing part of the process? Because those
you
are
know,
2. Yeah. I'm curious,
that,
what do you think?
that would be interesting. Actually, I think what would be fun is if we both experiment with that. Like maybe in the next episode, what we can do is we can just go and before the next episode, just do a
Yeah,
prompt with an AI feature and just say, give me a song like Nirvana
it's a great
and
idea.
let's play it live and react to it live. Like, try to do it in a way that you don't listen to the song before
Great
and
idea.
you know yeah, let's try that out. Like
It's a
that,
great
I'm
idea.
because I'm genuinely curious because I don't want to discount AI. Like it's
You're right.
it's it's amazing what it's doing, what it's capable of,
Yes.
and like um you have to be aware of what's happening around you. You have to
Yeah.
be connected
I love
to the
that.
world. Yeah.
I think that's a great idea, Karan. Don't forget it. Let's do that next time. I like that. That would be
Nice.
really fun. The there's a there's a there's a fig tree in my neighborhood that I've been stealing figs from. It's not it's not really far into their lawn, and technically it's a small apartment building. I think the
Okay.
landlord lives on premises, but
Okay.
it's a small apartment buildings, and it's got in its courtyard this huge black mission fig tree with these amazing, gorgeous, big dark
Thanks.
figs that are delicious. And I've been stealing them habitually. Like I go there like every day, every other day for the last week. Um and uh Today I went there intending to, because I was like, I waited a couple days, there's going to be some new ripe ones there. And I went there to go pillage this fig tree, and what do I see when I arrive? I see presumably the landlord out there picking figs from the tree with a friend and eating them and enjoying them, and I watched from a distance, and I felt left out, and I felt the way I think it would feel to be the other woman. I felt I felt the way I think it would feel to be third wheeled in a romantic relationship. And it's like, I felt like if there's a woman who is seeing a man who claims to be in an open relationship or is like basically cheating on his wife with this other woman, I felt like that other woman watching someone else eat my figs, except they weren't my figs, they were his figs. But I still felt upset at him for
felt
eating them.
felt betrayed.
I still
Like
felt jealous and left out, even though I had no right to. They aren't my figs. It's not my fig tree. It's not my property. What I'm doing might be, probably is technically illegal. I felt ousted, or whatever the word. Yeah, it felt.
yeah.
I felt sad watching them enjoy their own figs and me having no part of it. Anyway, yeah, random story. A lot of fig trees in LA. One of my favorite things about in the summertime, all the fig trees, the figs ripen. It feels like you could almost turn every corner. There could be a fig tree. I'm always scanning the horizon for them, keeping my eyes out. Sometimes I'm driving along, I see one, I'll stop, pull over, jump out, pick a few figs if I can find them, and it's just this joyous Easter egg hunt of deliciousness, and it is a thing I love about summertime in LA. I've been
Uh,
enjoying that the last couple weeks.
oh, you gotta enjoy. I mean, it's there's something about picking fruit right off a
Do you like
tree that's
figs?
just I yeah, it completely just cut me off. It was like, listen,
Sorry.
I'm not done talking about figs yet,
No,
bro.
I know, but I just I really do want to hear what you say, but
I was
I want
I
to
was
know if you
about
like
to
figs.
relive
I
my own
know,
experience, and suddenly you were
but
just like, no, no, I'm not interested. I'm not interested.
no, I am
Do you
interested.
like figs? That's but that's
But before I can immerse in the intrigue of your story, which I do genuinely want to do,
I need to
I
know.
have to know. I have to know if you like figs.
The answer to that question is I do like
I
figs, but probably
apologize.
not as much as you. Probably not as
Okay.
much as you, but I do
Okay.
like them. They are
Okay.
extremely interesting fruit because
Okay.
uh, they're very unique, but they're really sweet. And yeah, I'm personally like that's the one thing I know. Fruit is supposed to be sweet, but I don't like a lot of sweet fruit for
Oh,
some
okay.
reason.
That
Yeah,
makes
yeah. But
sense. But
otherwise,
anyway, sorry
figs
for
are
cutting
great.
you off. Well, sorry for cutting you off. What were you saying though? Thank
No,
you
no, no,
for
I was
answering
just
my
saying
question.
that there's a certain like pleasure in picking fruit off a tree and eating it. It's just so much fun. It feels like nature is
It's
just handing something
amazing.
to you. Like
Oh,
it's just like
a
it's
gift.
great.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so true. What is that? Is it just a primal? Is it taking us
I
back
think
to
so.
like a hunter gatherer
Yeah.
feeling?
I think so. I think there's like there are certain things that are so imbued in us genetically that when you experience even a little bit of it, it kind of like almost transports you in a way that you don't totally understand, but you just like it for some goddamn reason.
Yeah,
I don't
for
know how to
some
explain
goddamn
it,
reason.
but
It's so
just
true.
enjoy it. Enjoy that. Not everything needs to be explained. Just enjoy it.
Well said. That's so true. Just enjoy the wonder. You don't need an
Yeah.
explanation for everything.
Yeah.
That's part of being human, and that's part of what separates us from the robots. So yeah,
Yeah,
because
it does.
they don't like figs.
I don't think so. At
I
least
don't
you
think
never
so.
know.
I don't know. I have That's another thing we can explore. Ask them in the next
Yeah,
episode. Do you like figs?
yeah.
Almost said Mr. Robot, which is the name of a
That's
show.
the
Did
name
you
of
ever
the show.
watch
Yeah.
that show, Mr. Robot?
No, no, I
It
haven't.
was actually pretty good for the most
Yeah.
part. It was pretty good. But
Okay. Let's
the
see.
so I wanted to. I know we're probably. How are we doing on time?
Yeah, I was gonna say we're way over. It's
Oh
been
my.
nearing an hour and a half. Yeah.
Wow, that's so much more content than anyone has asked for.
Yeah. Yeah, guys, come on! I gotta go.
we're
Wrap it up already.
we're just telling the world how much of us they need. We're not even
Yeah.
asking.
No, no.
You'll take a
We've.
2-hour spoonful of my bullshit, and you'll like it. Yum yum
Well,
yum.
that's why God made
Take it down.
editors, I guess.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Good luck with this one. I get, but it's like it's long form content. I think like Joe Rogan and
Yeah,
some of
it's
them, they
okay.
have such long episodes.
Yeah,
Um.
let's see. What song can I play to play
Well,
us
I
off?
was gonna. Well,
Maybe this one.
okay. I was gonna say we got to listen to the Karan Momigati guitar part.
Okay. Is it this one? That's
What's
that's the
the
notey basic theme.
what's the but so I wanna so like I said, I went and I played my rhythm part and I learned the lead that you wrote over it and I played them both. Can we listen to the recording I made? It doesn't have a vocal, but it's just the music. I
What
think
is it called?
it's the Karan Momigati song. It's called Full Song or something like that.
Oh,
Here's
this
the
guy.
full version.
was sick.
Sweet. The yeah, what do you think listening to like the guitar parts we wrote on that?
Yes, it's so nice. It's so fun. Listen to it.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's such a, it takes me back to that song. 'Cause, yeah, I mean, I know we listened to, like, the intro here and there and some parts of it, but listening to the whole song, I was like, "Oh, yeah, this part was pretty cool, that part was pretty cool." And, yeah, you covered it, like, you got the notes and everything just right. It was really good.
Thanks, man. What extent do you remember what you played of the lead? Like, what do you how much do you remember it? Like when you're listening to it, are you like, "Oh yeah, yeah, that's the note I played there."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, when I listened to it, I'm like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, this is exactly what I did." But I
That's
still
crazy.
don't remember how to play it.
Yeah, because
Uh,
it's been a while since you listened
I
to it
know.
or played it.
Yeah, yeah. I would need a guitar with me and the song, like, and maybe a few hours to like get the lead back.
You know,
You know,
dude, it
the
was
notes I
really
played.
cool. I actually really enjoyed like I felt like a student, but I really enjoyed like listening to that gritty old recording, trying to decipher the notes you were playing. It was like an interesting exercise in trying to use your ear to like decipher. I
Yeah.
felt like somebody translating like the Bible from like 1,000 years ago to like a modern version. But it was really fun. It was like this process of discovery where I'm like, oh yeah, today I'm gonna figure out what he was doing in that one section there because it's hard to tell. But I would literally like the hardest part for me to decipher what you were doing, especially because the old version has a vocal line over it, but the hardest part for me to hear what you were playing in the lead guitar was that last section before the outro verse. The last section where it kind of comes to
Oh
a
yeah,
pinnacle, the grand finale, and it
yeah,
has it has like that, you know, the lead just kind of loses itself into oblivion and just is playing all these different notes.
yeah.
And it seems chaotic, but there's like a melody to each part of it that you like played, and it was but it's not like a singable melody, but it's a guitar melody, and
Right.
I had to like basically break that part into sections and kind of figure out each section and then put it together because it wasn't a part. There's so many notes in it that it wasn't a section I could just listen to and then memorize and play back. I had to sort of break it into pieces, so that was interesting.
Yeah, yeah. The end. All I remember of it was I was just bending the hell out of the strings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going nuts with it.
Yeah, there
So
were a
yeah, I
lot of
probably don't remember what I
bends,
did either.
especially on that last line,
Yeah,
leading up to in the in na, 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 na. You did like 4 bends in a row. I was like,
yeah,
"Damn, okay, we're bending here. We're
yeah,
we're we're doing bends.
yeah. It
These are
was,
blues bends, baby.
yeah,
Here we go."
yeah. Those
Yeah.
strings were not in a straight line at all for for that part. They were at some crazy angle because I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Yeah, but you were good at bending. Like it was like I mean, I think I've definitely become a much better guitar player than I used to be, but I have a long way to go. Like I'm there's, just guys who are so much better, but like it was it's like bending, it's not like easy. It's an art. Like you to get it to bend to the note you want and do it in a way that's smooth. It's kind of
Yeah,
hard. And it was like a lesson in blues 101 for
yeah,
me to like learn your part because it's all pentatonic
pretty much.
basically, pretty much all pentatonic, and it's just this scale. And I would have these moments where I'd be like, I wonder where on the neck he's doing this part, and I would try different places on the neck, up at the 15th or 17th fret, and I'd be like, "Wow, that's really high up, then I wonder if he was going that high." And then what I finally realized, and correct me if I'm wrong, but what I finally figured out was the way I could get it to sound the most like your performance was if I literally just stayed, and this is not a bad thing because you made it work, but literally stay on the same group of frets at just the same pentatonic scale right up.
Yeah.
and I just
Yeah.
stayed even for those high notes. I stayed in that same pentatonic scale, and as long as I stayed there, that was home base, and as long as I stayed there, it had the right feel. It had the feel of what you played. So,
Yes.
whatever you is that correct? Is that basically were
Oh
you
yeah.
staying there?
You
Yeah.
you knocked it on the head. It's all pentatonics, and I'm pretty sure I stayed at the same spot on the fretboard. And if anyone here is listening and thinking and loves solo guitar, learn your pentatonic scales. They are
Yeah.
so easy, and they will just give you just hours and hours of guitar fun because they
Yeah.
sound so good.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
just
what's
so
great
it's simple notes, but they're so fun to play.
yeah, especially if you yeah, and right, and what's nice about them is they work over everything. They're designed that way. They skip
Yeah.
notes that would clearly denote the scale as minor or major, and they basically are this cross section of a scale, this simplification where if you're playing them in that key, it's gonna work. It's gonna sound good.
Yeah.
It's just simpler, but it's that's what makes them great. And it worked so well over this song, especially because this song is so clearly hearkening to an era of like blues based balls to the wall blues based rock. And so that you staying in that pentatonic scale and really married to that for this one, it made perfect sense. And it was funny because when I would try to like venture outside of that or go higher up the neck and play the same thing higher up the neck, it didn't have the right feel. It was like when you play the same notes, hi, oh, is there a call coming in somewhere? What
I
do I
think
hear?
that's you.
Oh shit. Uh-oh.
Matt, you gotta get off that
Oh,
podcast.
put your phone on silent, you pig. Oh, it's a spam number from Fort Myers, Florida. Well, fuck
Nice,
you. Get
nice.
out of here. I'm
Make sure you
talking
take
about
that call.
pentatonics.
Maybe they have, they're selling. Maybe the snake oil is extra good today.
Yeah, maybe they can offer me some of that sweet, sweet snake oil. That I just suck it up and pay you all. Here, take my wallet, take my house, take my wife and my dog.
Take my money, please.
Just give me that Target gift card for $1,000. Take everything I have.
Yeah.
I need that gift card you're selling. Anyway, yeah, so yeah, I would try the same notes at the same octave level, just at a different place on the fretboard, and it didn't sound right. It's not that it didn't sound good, but it didn't sound right. It's like it it's almost like okay, like so for the part where it goes up really high and goes like that part like where it goes up really high, I would try that on like higher frets or something, and I don't know, it sounded like Steve Vai suddenly came in and was trying to elevate the skill level of the song, but in doing so sounded really inappropriate and overkill somehow, just the tone of it. I can't explain it, but that's what I felt. And the more when I just stayed in that same pentatonic scale where you apparently just had stayed, it just felt right, and it sounded more garage bandy, and it sounded more like a garage band, which is what it wanted. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was really fun to do.
Nice. Yeah.
Um, yeah,
That's a fun song.
yeah.
Um,
Do you think I should add the vocal just to
uh,
have it?
why not? We can try it. It
I
could
mean,
be
why
interesting.
not? I guess. I mean, um, yeah, I kind of want to like just to have it and like. Now let me ask you this, and this is okay because as I'm because I really enjoy that song. I don't know, maybe other people think it's silly or maybe they wouldn't. Either way, like it's just fun and it sounds good to me. And I was like, what would it be like if I just finished this song just to have it or or even to release it just for fun. I mean, sometimes people will, and obviously I would credit you. We would go 50-50 and make sure if there were any royalties from it that we get 50-50. But that being said, in that hypothetical scenario, it's like, it's also like, why not? Like, why wouldn't, I mean, I've heard Red Hot Chili Peppers records where one of the songs is like really fucking silly, and it almost kind of makes it cool because it gives you this sense of like, yeah, they're not overthinking it, they're just putting out whatever they enjoy, and some
Yeah.
of it is a little absurd, and that's okay. Nirvana too. Kurt Cobain had some songs that were so silly, if not bad, and he would just sort of embrace it and put it out sometimes. Um, so I was like, the Kern Momigati song is fun. I could release it, but like, if I did, do you envision it having drums, or can you envision that, or how does that strike you?
I don't know. I've
I
never
don't know
thought
either.
about that.
I just don't know. I don't know. I
I
could,
wonder if like,
yeah, I
yeah, I
don't
wonder
know.
if you could tell AI to like add some drums. Wonder how it
Good
would sound.
idea.
Yeah.
I know. I need to learn to use some kind of software like that. It would sometimes be
It was just
handy.
yeah, it's a good one to experiment on because you can,
It just to get an idea of it,
yeah,
and if it's, because if I tried it with like AI drums and I was like, oh, I do really like it with drums, then I might consider having a real drummer record to it. But if I heard it and I was like, I don't think so, then obviously no. But it would be nice to be able to test that. There must be
yeah,
a way. Because
yeah,
it's hard for me to picture what drums would do during the verse part, but I can picture them in the chorus, kind of
yeah,
being just sort of this simple driving drum beat in the chorus. I don't know what they would be doing in the verse, but I'm also not a drummer, so.
yeah.
But
I'd be kind of curious to maybe, yeah. Let me see if I find a like
well,
a
let
software.
me add.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what. I'll add the vocal before you do,
okay.
because it's hard to know if drums work if you can't hear them with the vocal. Um, so I'll try to do that. That would be fun, and then we can maybe, that would be a fun thing to do through this podcast. Like, let
Yeah,
them see a song get built. We could add, yeah, like, and
just
even
for fun.
if just for fun, and incorporate the AI a little too. Maybe we see what AI would do for drums, and then evaluate, do we like drums in this or do we not? I don't know. Could
Yeah,
be fun.
yeah. I think that could be entertaining.
So okay, so we're way over time, but did you have any ideas for what to name this show? Because we have to come up with a name at some point.
Uh, hmm,
Let me see if I had any ideas.
I maybe it's something we could talk about next time because like
Yeah, we're running
yeah,
way over.
because we're running
We'll
way
talk
over
about it
and
next
knowing
time.
us, this will turn into
Go for
another.
another half hour. I know. There's endless things to say. All
There's a
right,
lot to
cool.
talk about.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, yeah, we can wrap it up. All right, guys. Thanks. We'll see you next time when we delve a little into see what the AI has to offer.
All right. Thank you. Too kind. Shush.
It,
All
it,
right. All right.
it,
All right. All right. Thank you,
oh,
guys. Thank you.
is
Thank
there
you.
a way? Can I play those sounds?
Yeah, I'll have to figure out a way to give you access to it. Yeah.
Okay. That
Something to
would.
do.
Can you play the? Yeah, that would be. I would love to be able to do that. Can you play the one that's called the Conqueror? It's to close us out.
Yeah.
See how it
Let's do it.
feels. All right. Nice.
Nice.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. Well, until
Well,
next
thanks for
time.
tuning in, everyone.
Yes. Thank you, Solomon. Good to see
Yeah.
you as always.
Good to hear. Yeah. Good for you to be with us. We will see you next time.
See you next time. All right, Karan. See you next time.
See ya.
Later.